Saudi Arabia is building a $500 billion mass surveillance system to track every move of its citizens, and it's been described as the biggest ever in the world. According to reports, Saudi Arabia is developing a never-before-seen system that will be able to monitor all phone calls, emails, and social media activity. It will give authorities access to real-time information on every Saudi citizen, even including those who are not suspected of any crime. The system will be used to track Saudi citizens from the moment they are born. It will gather data on their health, behavioural patterns, and banking records, as well as their movements in public places. But will installing a mass surveillance system in a country where women almost have no rights and being a part of the LGBT+ community be a good idea? Or will it be disastrous and lead millions of innocent people to be arrested for not following Saudi Arabia's extremely strict rules? Eden Amamovic, a program officer at Privacy International, said that this project will allow the state to keep a close eye on its people. It will do this not just through surveillance technologies, but also by collecting vast amounts of data that will be stored in a central database. The way Saudi Arabia is planning to do this is by building a high-tech city called The Line, which will be the largest private investment ever. The Line is part of a larger project called NEOM, which is set to be a $500 billion development being built by the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia. NEOM will take up to 26,500 kilometers of the country's territory and is being built as an independent economic zone that aims to attract foreign investment and boost tourism in the region. It will also have the world's first commercial nuclear power plant run almost entirely by robots. Construction of the line started in 2021 and is expected to end in 2030. The city will also include hotels, shopping centres and entertainment venues like water parks. It will also offer opportunities for businesses looking to expand their operations into Saudi Arabia's growing economy. This futuristic city will be designed to hold 9 million residents by the time it is finished. The line is also expected to house more than 10 million people by 2080 and will have its own laws separate from those of Saudi Arabia or any other country. This city will even have its own judicial system based on Islamic law with international arbitration courts for foreign investors. But rather than being a promising project, the line has raised more questions that have led people to believe that it's simply not a good idea to be built. Its problems began from the very first moment it started being built, when it forced thousands of indigenous people to move out of their homes so that construction could start. But some of them were not willing to obey and decided to protest against the government by refusing to move out of their homes. This, however, ended horribly for the protesters. Most of them were arrested and abducted by the police, and some even lost their lives. But in order not to be portrayed negatively, Saudi Arabia has done everything in their power to hide these facts. Many indigenous people have tried to raise awareness of what was happening, but they were immediately shut down every time. According to reports, Saudi Arabia has gone as far as planning to take the lives of the last 3 remaining protesters that were keeping the NEOM project from being constructed. Reports claimed that the protesters were part of the Hawatak tribe and they were first arrested in 2020 for not moving out of their homes. By the end of 2022, Saudi Arabia's special court sentenced the 3 protesters to a horrible sentence, which was to take their lives. But there have likely been numerous unreported cases like this that the country is quietly sweeping under the rug. These indigenous people have also attempted to upload videos on TikTok in the hopes of spreading awareness. But not only have these videos been terminated, but the people uploading them have also gone missing days later. It seems that Saudi Arabia is willing to do anything or to build this new futuristic city, even if it means ruining the lives of hundreds of indigenous families. The line is supposed to be an eco-friendly city that functions on 95% of renewable energy sources such as solar panels. It will also not allow cars or any type of vehicle transportations from its residents. The only two ways that its residents can travel is by riding a high-speed rail which can transport citizens from one end of the line to the other in under 20 minutes. The city will be built in the northwest of Saudi Arabia and will reach a length of 170 kilometers but only 200 meters in width. Its height, however, will reach the length of an average skyscraper in New York. The city's parameters are enough to raise tons of questions, one of which is how will millions of people live together if the line is only 200 meters in width? The way Saudi Arabia has solved this is by stacking up all the homes and institutions, which makes the line look more like a maze. All residents will have access to facilities and parks within a 5-minute walk. The reason why it is being built like this is for residents to have easy access to everything. Every resident will have access to their basic needs such as food and water, fresh air, and even shopping malls and entertainment facilities, all within a 5-minute walk. But will the Saudi Arabian government do this to make life easier for its citizens? Or is the entire project being built to obtain more control over its people? Because apart from all the promising innovations the line will bring, it will also be heavily monitored by security cameras. According to reports, there will be one camera for every 30 residents in the city, which is much higher than in most cities around the world. The line will also include a national ID system, facial recognition software, a biometric passport, and an electronic payment system linked to the ID number. This mass surveillance system makes it seem like the government wants to collect data on every aspect of people's lives. But civil rights organisations say such an intrusive system would violate privacy laws and could enable profiling based on ethnicity or religion. Another problem is that Saudi Arabia has many extreme rules that the citizens have to follow. For example, the LGBT community in Saudi Arabia is forced to remain in the shadows even to this day. In 2014, a royal decree made it illegal for people of the same gender to date or even marry each other. It is also illegal for them to have any kind of relationship at all. So, if someone's found out to be homosexual or transgender, they could face up to 3 years in prison, 100 lashes of the whip, or fines of around $2,300. But in a massively surveyed city such as the Line, it will be easier for these people to be caught and severely punished. The country's religious police are also known to raid parties and arrest people for dancing with members of the same gender or for wearing clothing deemed inappropriate for their gender. Members of the LGBT community who live in Saudi Arabia face extreme difficulty in finding employment or finding a place to live on their own. This is if they're lucky enough not to have been arrested or thrown out by their families in the first place. But the Line's massive surveillance system might not only affect people that are part of the LGBT+ community, it will also affect Saudi women. Women in Saudi Arabia face many restrictions under the country's male guardianship system. The government and legal system, which is based on Sharia law, discriminate against women in a variety of ways. Women are required to get permission from a male guardian, often their husband or father. They must also obtain permission from a male guardian for medical procedures, who they meet and where they go. With such advanced surveillance, it will be pretty easy to catch the woman not obeying such strict rules, and their punishment can be fatal. But this mass surveillance system is more likely to become a reality than not, even if people don't agree with it. This is because Saudi Arabia has the potential to become a surveillance powerhouse with its own domestic market and large export potential. So, building a futuristic city with such a massive surveillance system is becoming more possible than ever. Many reports claim that the line will include thousands of cameras installed at intersections and on buildings. These cameras will be linked to facial recognition software that can detect individuals within the crowd and track their movements throughout the city. Saudi officials claim that the surveillance project will also allow them to access data from other government agencies and private companies such as banks and insurance firms. The ultimate goal of the program is to monitor private lives, specifically the life of citizens who are considered threats to the state. Through a network of cameras, GPS systems, physical monitoring, and all that coupled with modern technology infrastructure, the nation strives to track every single step their citizens make. But is all this mass surveillance necessary to completely diminish all crime? And will other countries soon follow the trend? Don't forget to comment your thoughts down below and leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.